Hello and welcome to this short video about my Stormworks Monorail project. The original release was in 2019 and over the past 5 years has been continually improved. With the release of version 4, I thought I might make a short video to explain the history behind the project. Just a quick disclaimer, this is the first time I have ever done something like this, so I apologise for the low production quality. Anyway, Stormworks is a game that I have been playing almost from the beginning, starting when it released in early access in 2018. As the game developed, so did my interest, as more and more features were added, making the game more complex and allowing for better creations to be made. In the early days, I created primarily small watercraft. As the game progressed, I moved to land-based vehicles. The game changed massively in September 2018 with the implementation of the third major update, Survival and Advanced Vehicles. This update introduced many things, but importantly more realistic mechanics, which allow for better vehicles of all types to be created. With the ever-expanding features of the game, I embarked on my first major project, the monorail. This was chosen as I have a personal interest in the transport type, and there was nothing like it on the Steam Workshop at the time. Making use of the mission system, I figured out that track segments could be created in the workshop and then placed within the world of Stormworks to make a continuous route. This mission, released May 2019, included a simple short route between two stations and included a diesel-powered monorail train. It was loosely based on the Alton Towers monorail with the Jelly Bean livery. The design was blocky and the controls unrefined, but this was the proof of concept that showed that a monorail system in Stormworks was possible. From the first release, numerous iterations were created, including longer routes and more features, such as switch points and onboard monitors. Additional liveries were also created, such as Stormworks Black, which later became the standard livery, and Sunshine Purple, which is my fictional in-game company. The project maintained frequent improvements, such as changing the power type from a diesel aircraft engine to batteries, making the monorail electrically powered, using the newly introduced, at the time, electric motors. It is at this time, June 2020, that I released the first iteration of one of my other projects, called the Miniature Railway, which used the same process of separate track segments joined together within the mission editor to create a continuous route. At the time of creating this video, the Miniature Railway is my most subscribed creation, despite the trains themselves being technically and visually less complex compared to other projects I have done. While the monorail had improved greatly from its initial test version, the overall vehicles were still quite clunky to drive, and often started moving on their own due to the way the game's physics engine worked in conjunction with the mechanism that kept the monorail on the track. I decided to make a new monorail train from the ground up, which began the development of the Mark 8 monorail, and later released under version 2.0. The Mark 8 monorail was named so for two reasons. The first is chronologically, this was roughly the 8th iteration of the monorail train, noting that this also includes test versions that were never released publicly. But also as a loose continuation of Disney's monorail naming convention from the latest Mark 7 introduced to Disneyland in 2008. While my original design was based on the Alton Towers monorail, this version was loosely based on the Mark 6, which has been deployed at Walt Disney World since 1989 and continues in operation to the present day. The Mark 8 monorail has vast improvements over previous generations, including a better scale design to the world of Stormworks, better detailed trains both on the exterior and interior, revamped system that keeps the trains on the track, causing less lag and working better with the physics engine, and a better control system making the trains easier to drive. This version of the project also includes improved track switches, better detail on the track and related infrastructure, and new features such as the inclusion of a maintenance shed for the trains to be stored when not in use. The next public release is version 4, which at the time of making this video is the most recent addition. Version 3 was never released publicly as it mainly consisted of test elements which did not add up to a complete experience suitable for release. However, many of the developments were used in version 4. The main difference between version 2 and 4 is the extension of the route to include a third station on top of the railway tunnel entrance on the west of the island. Also included is the tow tug, which can be used to rescue the monorail trains if they break down. There were also many small changes that improved the overall experience. As you can see, the monorail project through its many iterations has become quite a complex creation, while keeping to the basic premise of a vehicle suspended in the air by a single beam. Currently there are no plans to develop the project any further, but I would never say that it would not be worked on in the future. If you're interested in playing with the monorail, there is a link in the description where the latest version can be downloaded on the Steam Workshop. Obviously you need the Stormworks game to play it. I hope you've enjoyed this short video on the history of my Stormworks Monorail project, despite my novice video making skills. Thanks for watching.